All right. What's up? What's up? I am Jae Millz.
And I am Dana.
And this is JANA After Dark. How you feel?
I'm good.
You good?
Episode 3?
Episode 3. You feeling good because you was drinking before we started, so you probably...
No, that has nothing to do with anything.
So the shots don't have nothing to do with anything?
No.
Cool.
I'm happy that it's episode 3.
Cheers to that. Cheers to episode 3. Me and my baby. So this is episode 3 of JANA After Dark. Want to give a shout out to all of the people that's giving us the great feedback, keeping us going, keeping my baby excited about setting everything up, cutting these microphones on, hitting record, and really just providing y'all with this content. So make sure y'all keep hitting that subscribe, hitting that like, hitting the follow.
And jumping in the comments.
Yeah, leaving your comment. We love the
the
comments. Tell them the beautiful idea you had about them leaving questions for us to ask and stuff like that.
Well, the fact that you guys are leaving comments, I love that because I feel like you're coming into our world. And when you come into our world, we want to make you a part of it. So if you leave comments, suggestions, and subjects that we could talk about, we could shout y'all out.
Yeah,
talk about some of the things you want to hear us talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We can answer some questions.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to the person that left us a comment on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, my brain is not working, so I don't
See,
remember
you
the
was
exact
supposed to,
name.
You said you was going to shout them out.
I was. I'm sorry, but there was somebody that shouted us out and said that them and their wife does watch us, and they'll be tuning in, and they want us to go live.
Yeah.
And we are in talks to do a lot of great things.
Yeah, I'm my baby want to go. She wanted to go live from the beginning, but she's a firecracker. And sometimes I'm like, babe, when you live, you can't take back what you say on the live. So I kind of want to build up to that. And we're going to keep building the community.
So thank you for the comment. We are going to go live. We've been talks with a few different things, a few different options. So I'm excited about that.
I see you got your Beyonce vibes going there. You got your
Beyonce?
I love your Beyonce shirt. I see you got the
vintage Beyonce.
You got the
t-shirt.
we gonna fuck up the night choker on.
Something like that. I mean, this is the Beyonce on the Run tour shirt. That's how far back I go.
But that's a great vintage. That's a great vintage.
I love
shirt,
it.
So.
I love it. I wore it a few times, and I've had it for years. But being that you took me to go see the movie, I was excited.
Yeah, we had like a nice family night out. It was me, my baby, her sister, her mom,
my auntie,
aunt. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Auntie Rashida.
So really, I was the only dude in the crew.
And this is why I love him, because he didn't mind being
I was the only dude in the crew, but I was in it like, yeah, loose, yeah, love, yeah, loose, yeah, love. Blue was like that. I was in it. It was fire. That was
I thought
fire.
it was dope that you would come support.
Yeah, that was fire. Look, I'm a Virgo. So I'm going to see the Virgo Godmother in any way that I can. But I think the movie was dope to see it documented. I'm a Virgo. I got to see another Virgo that's on a total different level than me.
But did she remind you of yourself?
But she reminded me of me so much.
Many ways.
Like when
when
homie told her she couldn't find, what was it, the 30 millimeter like lights or something like that? She said, so they don't make them. So they don't. And I knew in my mind, I'm like, babe, she gonna find the lights. I said, I don't know if it was cameras or lights. I said, she gonna find those. But what did you think about the Renaissance movie?
I thought it was amazing. Aside from the great glam, I love that. I stamp everything with fashion and beauty, so that's my thing. But aside from that, I think the two biggest things that I loved about the movie was Jay-Z. He took the back seat as the husband, the supportive husband. I'm always for the love.
He was for y'all who haven't seen the Beyonce.
I don't want to spoil
Renaissance
it. I don't want to spoil it, but I will say the fact that he took the back. He's one of our goats of our generation.
Of course,
ever. But for him to take the back seat and just be there to be the supportive
just
husband
to make sure
and father,
good.
I think that's so dope. We don't
We don't
put a light on our kings that do that as much.
Oh man, I love.
You do that. You do that.
You know what I'm saying?
The fact that he went with 3-4 women to go see the Beyonce movie is huge. So I I feel like you do that a lot with me. So I seen that when I looked at Jay-Z being a supportive husband, no matter what he had going on. You can tell
it's genuine. Because it's like,
and I love that.
Not to say it like that,
I love
but
that. And I'm fans of both of them. I'm fans of both of them.
To say, I'm a super fan of both of them too. But not to say it like that, but at this point, it's not about money because it's like, what can Jay-Z get out of Beyonce?
And it's not about him getting the spotlight either.
What do I want with the spotlight? Like, while you up there, I'm with the kids. And when I'm doing me, you with the kids. And it worked for us.
And he was in the audience dancing. And,
that was dope.
Just being supportive of his daughter. And that reminded me so much of you and Journey and Anthony. So I thought that was so dope because we don't highlight our kings that do that. Because there's so many of you guys that do that. And I just want to say thank you because you always do it with me. You do it with the kids.
I appreciate that.
You support whatever crazy idea I have or whatever crazy venture I'm doing.
Oh, look, if we're going to talk about supporting ideas, you done supported some wild stuff I came up with.
But you don't mind taking the back seat. So I think that was so dope that he did that and we got to see it on film. And then the other thing is, before we go on to something else, was that how she put her mother on a pedestal. How she's dedicated so much to Miss Tina. Shout out to Miss Tina. Miss Tina is the GOAT.
That was dope to see.
We value our mothers like that. Our mothers are our world. So I think that was just so dope to see that and somebody value their mother like that.
And to see Beyonce's kids value
her like that.
To see Blue tell her like, Mommy, you need to get some sleep.
Yeah.
You need to go to sleep, Mommy.
So I think those were the things that stuck out with me the most. And it almost brought tears to my eyes because I'm a mother of an 11-year-old. So I understand when you feel the pain for them or when you feel overjoyed for them when they're trying something new, but you're kind of nervous for them. Yeah. And I had those moments with Journey. You've had those moments with Journey. So I think that was just so dope. So those were the things that I took away. And I don't want to spoil it for those who didn't see it because everybody need to go see it. Whether you're a fan of Beyonce or not, you just got to go see it.
I was glad to see that there's another person or another Virgo in the world that's just as much as a perfectionist as me.
Michael Jackson was too. So
Michael Jackson, Nas, Dougie Fresh.
You
know what I'm saying? Like,
go.
Look, this we was gonna talk about this later, but I think when we was just talking about the thing with Beyonce and Jay-Z and sometimes you having to play the background. Like, we had this as a topic later on in the show, but I think this is like a good time to bring it up and transition into it. So we was talking about, could you play the background if your partner was the star? Like, we was talking about that last night when we was in the room and all that. And, well, you know me. Ever since I first met you, I was like, whatever I could do to ever help anything that you doing, I want to help. You know what I'm saying? Use me. I tell my friends, I tell everybody, like, yo, use me for whatever you could get out of me. Like, I made it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever I could help with, I want to. And just like this whole JANA After Dark thing, I know it may say Jae Millz presents, but we're going to use my name. That's what she was smart enough to be like, use your name. But this is really something that she came up with, and she was like, however you could like take it to another level and we could like do it. So for me, this is kind of like me stepping to the side and watching my baby glow. Like, you came into this podcast with 300 and something followers. Give it a few months. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for everybody that started.
You give it a few months, and it's gonna be a total different thing. But I had to be comfortable enough to know, oh yeah, she's out here now. It ain't you can't hide her once you.
But you never did hide me, so it's like.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I don't have no problem with stepping to the side and letting my baby, like, even if we had to go to a red carpet, if this was your event to go to a red carpet, I probably wear like a Nike Tech sweatsuit, some ears, but I would stand to the side and let you get your red carpet on. If I see the hair looking, hold on, no pictures. All right, cool, let me get out the way. Because these is your photo ops. But I think that's dope. You know what I'm saying? So to you, it's like, yeah, like I'm not asking you, could you play the background?
Do you think I do a good job at that?
You do a fabulous job at that.
Okay.
But I don't look at it like you playing the background. I look at it like you're with me. So, for instance, if I do a battle, and the battle is in Atlanta, Orlando, New York, LA, wherever, and I take you with me, I'm not taking you with me for you to play the background. You understand what I'm saying? I'm taking
No,
you
I
with
totally
me for you
understand.
to be with me. But as far as you saying, play the background if your partner was the star. If you were Jae Millz and I was the everyday dude that's just, I'm rooting my baby on because she's like, she a dope rapper and I'm just here with her going to whatever. If you was a female battle rapper, because you done been to some battles. But imagine if you was like a female battle rapper.
We talked about that last night, but I'm so like not a rapper.
Shout out to the female battle rappers. Imagine if you was like Miss Hustle or you was Shuni or you was Jazz the Rapper. I
couldn't do it.
Or KCJ. Just imagine if you was that. I had to go with you to these battles and watch you battle dudes and watch them talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Yeah. But you get in your bag. So I would be able to do that. You're able to do that with me. Yeah. But I think that's what makes the whole JANA After Dark thing special. And I'm going to shut the hell up in a minute because I feel like I've been talking too long.
No,
but I feel like that's what makes it special because we could play the background when it's the other person's time to shine.
I will say, I think in this subject, when we say play the background, we mean at different points in our lives.
Yes.
I heard Michelle Obama speak upon this, and I can't quote her exact words, but she said relationships are not always 50-50. Marriages are not always 50-50 at the moment. Meaning, sometimes you may be 70, I may be 30. Sometimes I'm 50 and you're 50. Sometimes I'm 20 and you're 80. Sometimes I'm 80 and you're 20. It just depends on the day. It depends on the time. It depends on what we're doing. So I feel like when we say play the black burner, we mean for that moment. It takes a strong person.
Play the black burner
the back.
The back. See, I told y'all she started the shots before me
the
tonight.
Back burner. But I do feel like it takes a strong person to do that. Everybody can't do that. Some people, their insecurities get in the way and they can't do it. I'm 100% supportive of my king. I love my king. I think he looks amazing. I think he performs amazing. And no shots at nobody, but I know that you are a GOAT in what you do. Right, so I was a fan.
If your girl don't hype you up like this, I'm telling you, you got to get a new one, Jack.
So at the end of the day, I don't look at it like, oh God, I'm going with him to another battle. I'm like one of the most hyped in the room. And I try to control myself not to yell and make noise and, do things like that because I want the fans to be able to interact with you and do that. But I'm always your fan.
Always.
Yeah, always.
And I appreciate that.
And I appreciate when you do it for me as well. It's at different moments, Yeah. We won't talk about all the future things we have coming up, but you're always my biggest fan. And I appreciate that. I love that. And I love that Jay-Z didn't mind displaying that. Yeah, and it takes a strong man to do that. Every man is not secure enough to do it.
Aside from it does take a strong man to do it, but it takes a strong woman too, because a lot of times I think women get caught on the, well, what about me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
definitely.
I need something to do. And it's like, well, I remember there was times where
we've had those talks.
I was taking care of
everything.
I mean, like when we first got together, I didn't even want you to do. I felt like, yo, I don't want you to pay for gas. I don't want you. Then it got to a point where it was like, it wouldn't hurt. Like, I'm not really tripping. You know what I'm saying? But when you really think about it, it's like, yo, when you got like a partner and you there for them, it's like, yo, if you more lit than me at something, we still lit.
Yeah.
I sleep next to you every night. So if you winning the championship out there and you bringing it home, we champions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I win a championship and I come home, everybody in here is champions.
We're winners as a family.
We as a family. So it's dope to see that with.
But even when you lose, we're still a family.
And that too.
And that's something that I'm really strong on with our kids too. And our son plays sports, and he's big in football. But what do I always tell you? Whether he win or lose, when he steps off that field, we're there as a family. I don't care if you win by 1 point or you lose by 10. I'm still there to hug you. I'm still there to support you. That's the same thing with you or with Journey.
You got to be dedicated.
So when you're a family, you're there for the wins and a lot. You don't just be there just for the wins.
Yeah,
I'm a strong believer of that, and I instill that in the kids. I don't care if you win or lose. I'm still your mom. I don't care if you win or lose. I'm still your wife.
That's why I love my baby, man.
So that's just what it is. But
that's the dedication of you as a parent to your kids, you know, or to your man.
And just instilling that in them.
Just in general, my dedication too. Speaking of dedication,
not dedication 3 because you got a little excited about that last
when
episode.
I was shaking.
Yeah, you.
Nah, that was just you know what?
Like you got a little shaking. You
I'm
brought your Gucci glasses out. I don't know.
No, because it's late and I've been drinking with you, so it's like I didn't want to be up here looking crazy. But these are good glasses though. These are vintage. I had these glasses for probably about, like, real talk.
They're older than Journey.
Yes, these glasses are definitely older than my daughter. Definitely.
Yeah, they are, but they still good.
But that's fire. That's everybody want to walk around with the new stuff. Nah, bring something out from 03. Bring some 04 Gucci's out.
I'm with you.
Yeah, but these ain't from 04. Don't think I went back that far. But I got some 04s though, but they look different. They're gonna look different right now in 2023. So I'm gonna leave those back there. But we was talking about dedication, and the other day you was talking to me about when I used to be on Mad Cyphers. That's a public access show that used to come on in Manhattan, New York City. And a lot of us used to be on that show. Me, T-Rex, Murder Mook.
Before
a lot
you
of
go
us used to be
any
on
further, for those that don't know, you didn't have to have cable to watch that.
Nah, it was public access. So it was public access. So
what channel did it come on?
I believe it was like either 16 or 56, 57.
So if you didn't have cable, you would still be able to tune in. It was like Video Music Box. We used to tune in Jersey to channel 31.
Yeah, it was like public access. So we was talking about how I got on that show, and I was telling her I called the voicemail, rapped on the voicemail, and left my phone number at my mom's crib, and they called me back, and I went and did it. So that just took us down the rabbit hole of talking about things that we was dedicated to when we was young. And she was asking me if I ever went and put like a tape in the box, and I was like, hell yeah. Like, I did that a few times. There's a few record labels that probably got a Jarvis Millz.
Oh, so it wasn't Jae Millz when you dropped the cassette?
Nah, it wasn't Jae Millz. You want to know how I got the Jae Millz? This is going to be real quick. I got the Jae Millz because I couldn't find nothing that fit me. Like, I used to do graffiti, and I used to go to school for art. So graffiti was a big thing in the late 90s, not early 2000s, but late 90s. Graffiti, that's when it was like still big. And I always wanted to be like a dope graffiti artist.
Because he's a dope artist.
I wanted to be a dope graffiti artist. So I had a name, and I used to like writing in cursive. So my graffiti name was Script. I don't know. It just went with me. It was
you
just
didn't want
like,
to go with that for rap?
I did go with it for rap. At one time, I was Script Skills. And I was like, if you're going to be Script Skills, you could be Jarvis Millz for all of that. But I was like, Jarvis Millz sounded a little too like, you had to be something, little something, big.
So at this
something.
time, was anybody calling you Jay?
Nah, niggas were calling me Jarvis. Like, I was Jarvis on the block. That was it. But I think after I went through all those names, I was like, you know what? I'm Jae Millz. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it get to this was before I was signing checks. But I used to always sign my things that I would draw.
Jae Millz.
And I would do J.Millz. And then I took the S off and put a Z because I felt like people be sleeping on me. That was my little weird Virgo metaphor. You know what I'm saying? But that was my dedication. I have dropped tapes in boxes. I did used to rap, put tissue in cassette tapes and rap over them so I could hear myself in the Walkman.
I didn't know about that one. You got me on that one.
Oh, yeah. I used to like take my mom's like Keith Sweat tapes and Levert and all that and put tissue in the little parts on the side, record over them. It's Jarvis Millz in the place to be.
I didn't know about that one. He got me on that one.
Yeah, and then I would put it in the little Walkman, and I would listen to it on my way to school. Felt like I was lit.
Before the Discman.
Discman? No, I had the Walkman.
Yeah, I had the Walkman first, and then the Discman.
Yeah, I had a Discman, but I couldn't put myself on Discman.
So for those of us who don't know what a Walkman or a Discman is, the Walkman was the cassette tapes. And then you graduate.
We got to explain that.
We do.
Come on,
we do. We do.
I thought we were talking
And then
about
you
dedication.
graduate to the Discman, which is it's like a Walkman for the CDs.
Yeah, we that old. But you know what? We're that old. But all right, so that was my dedication. I did drop tapes, I did make demo tapes and take them to radio stations and record labels and stuff. So what was things that you did that was like, yo, you was really, really dedicated to that and people might not know?
Well, for those that don't know, I always wanted to be on radio. So that was my dream job as a kid. I used to back in the 90s when we moved back to Jersey, I used to use my mother's stereo and listen to Angie Martinez on Hot 97.
Shout out to Angie.
Shout out to Angie, the voice of New York. I was always a fan.
The voice of New York.
The voice of New York. So I was always a fan, and I remember when she started Ladies Night, and she used to tell us stories about how she started, and she was an intern when she was a teenager, and then they eventually gave her, you know, a time slot, and she worked her way up and things like that.
Yeah.
And she was doing like Friday nights, and it was Ladies Night, and this was in the 90s. And I thought it was so dope because like Mary J. Blige would come up there, Coco Chanel, Jazzy Joyce, and these are all like female DJs, so they was rocking. And if you don't know who they are, please look them up. They were so dope in that. So
and those my people. So
legends in the game. I've never met any of them. He's met them. He's been around them. I've never met him. So.
Jazzy Joyce, Coco Chanel.
Yeah, I thought they were so dope. So I always
they
thought
used to always show me love.
They was dope, and they would have special guests, you know, on Friday nights. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I like to talk to people. I like to laugh, make jokes, listen to music, but I don't have to be seen all the time. So I thought that would be so dope.
Like ideal.
Right. So I just was like, all right, I'm going to go to school for radio. I'm going to go to school for journalism. That's what I want to do. I want my voice heard like Angie's. And the years went by and I started doing tapes. Shout out to Nick. Nick can confirm the story.
You did the tape.
So I wanted to be a VJ. So I used to go on.
You went to the MTV joint, Who Want to Be a VJ?
Nick directed my VJ tape. It was a VHS tape.
So I got demos out there as Jarvis Millz.
And I had VHS.
You got VHS.
I wanted to be a VJ in MTV. This was before 106 in Park. And I thought, you know, maybe I should start making VHS tapes showing what I can do. And they would have questions you can answer and somebody would film it. And Nick would, I will say I love Nick to this day because she always supported my grand ideas with these things.
She probably set the camera up.
She set the camera up. Shout out to Babe. Babe was there. She helped us too. And I thought I was going to be a VJ. And along that journey, I kept still trying to be on radio and journalism because I thought my voice needed to be heard. I had something to talk about. But little did I know at that age, I really didn't have that much to talk about.
Shit to talk about.
I really didn't because I didn't go through that many things.
Yeah, you always say that.
So at that point, I was just like, I want to be on radio. So I did a few demos, and then at that time, I'm like, well, how am I going to get a resume? Because I don't have any jobs in radio. Yeah. So I just kept pushing, and I kept like, you know, trying to research it. And I just thought when I go to college, I would major in journalism and I would get an internship. It would fall in my lap, and it didn't work that way. Yeah. So I applied to so many internships from state to state, network to network, radio to radio, because I always thought you would just get an internship once you go to school and you register. Yeah. It didn't happen like that.
So what happened?
I got all the way to my junior year of doing that every year. And when I transferred to Keene University, I started off at West Virginia University for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then I transferred to Keene University. Shout out to everybody at Keene in Jersey in 2003. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I was like, all right, I need to apply to some radio stations. So I'm steady sending out my resume, which doesn't have anything with radio in it. I'm doing tapes.
You probably had the joint from McDonald's on there.
Right. So I'm thinking that they're going to pick me because I'm in school.
Goddamn radio.
Right. So 2004, All-Star Weekend, LA.
You was out there shaking.
So I made it.
You talking about me on dedication. You was out there shaking for All-Star Weekend.
No, I wasn't shaking. So long story short, I ended up making it back home. I flew back to LA because it was in LA. So I was like, perfect. I get to see my family. Even though it was like during school time, I get to see my family. I flew back. Just so happened, my dad was working at like a hip hop summit at the time. So he was just like, you know, you guys come by, my mom, and Iman. We went by. Iman was probably like 3 or 4 years old at this time. And we went and we sat in a hip hop summit. It was dope. So many people were speaking. Dame Dash was there. Loon was there. It was a few West Coast rappers there. And the first time I got to meet Dana Dane, the rapper. I thought that was so dope.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So when I got introduced to him, my dad says, tell him your name. And I'm like, hi, my name is Dana. And he's like, nah, seriously? And I'm like, yeah, seriously. And he was like, my name is Dana too. So I thought that was so dope. That was the first person I met.
Nah, that's the story.
And I had a picture with him. So I thought that was dope. It was really, really dope. And when we were leaving, it was a really dope summit. When we were leaving, I met Moni Love.
Shout out to Moni.
Shout out to Moni, the GOAT. And we started talking to her. And at the time, she was at Power. Everybody had just made the Power switch in New York. And her and Ed Lover at the time was on the radio for the morning show.
Shout out to Ed Lover.
Shout out to Ed Lover. And I was telling her, hey, I go to school for radio broadcast and I love what you guys are doing. I've always been a fan. And she was like, really? You go to school for broadcasting journalism? She was like, we're looking for an intern. And I was like, well, I'm looking for an internship. So it was just like a real cute conversation. We took a picture and I thought she was so sweet. Now, I have to be honest. I thought at this point, I was like, she's like fooling me. They're not looking for an internship.
I'm about to get curved.
Right. I thought she was giving me the Hollywood talk. So she was like, give me your information. We're going to reach out to you when we get back to New York. I was like, all right. Well, I went back to Jersey. She went back to New York at that time, like 2 days later after All-Star was over. And I went back to school. I'll never forget sitting on my bunk bed at school and my phone rang. Mm-hmm. And the guy was like, hi, may I speak to Dana? And I was like, speaking. And he was like, this is Anthony from Power 105. And I think I just blanked out. I didn't say anything. I looked at Dario, who was my roommate at the time.
When she say people make the power switch, I
this
want y'all to
04,
understand.
2004.
Hot 97 was like damn near the only hip-hop station in New York. Time. It was other stations. I'm not going to be disrespectful. And then Power Hot 97 along. Was like the epitome of the radio in New York. And then Power 105 came, and they made it was a new station. It was like a totally new thing. You had to get used to turning to that station on the radio. So when they made that station, and Ed Lover and Moni and a lot of they like made like a whole new dream team over there. So dream team, pardon me. So she's basically this was at the prime. She was a part of the beginning of it.
That. And this was during the prime.
When the station was just created.
When Anthony called me, he said he's the producer of the show at that time. So I just like freezed. I was on the phone. I was looking at my roommate Dario and I was like, she was like, what is going on? I'm like, this is Power. She was like, what? So he told me to come in.
You're in New Jersey at this time?
I'm in New Jersey at King University on my bunk bed that's turned upside down.
Bunk bed turned upside down is insanity.
So he told me, hey, Moni gave me your information. She said, you're looking for an internship. We're looking for an intern. Can you come in? In 2 days, we just need you to meet Ed. And if Ed Lover, if he approves, then you're hired. And I was like, okay, I'll be there. So I caught the train over. 2 days later, I met Ed. He was super cool, which was like, I think it was, I had like a moment. Like
the first time I met Ed Lover, I was like, yo, this is who's the man.
He's a legend in radio. Yeah. So I grew up watching him and he was super cool. Moni hugged me. She was super cool. And I think it calmed me. I wasn't like super nervous after that because they were both super cool. I was with the legends.
You was with the legends. Like you
in
got
radio.
molded by the legends, of broadcasting. I
think
that's so dope.
Yeah, it was. So to make a long story short, they ended up hiring me, and I stayed for that semester of spring 2004. It was around the time Beyoncé had dropped like her solo album.
See,
Alicia
we right
Keys
back
was
to
out.
Beyonce. Get loose, get love, get loose.
And I just remember like the CDs we got when I was there. The Young Guns had just dropped their CD. It was a few people I remember that had dropped CDs when I was there, but it was a dope experience, and I'll never forget it. Shout out to Ed Lover, Moni Love. They the go-to radio. They're still in the game.
Shout out to
everybody.
And they taught
me so much.
Shout out to everybody that influenced us and motivated us in different ways because we didn't know each other at that time.
And he knew Ed Lover as well, and I had no idea.
It's a small world.
It's a small world.
We were all motivated
by them,
by these people. Yeah. These people we talking about like. When I met Ed, it was like, yo, this Ed Love. And like when she met Moni, it's like, yo, this is Moni Love. Like,
Moni in the middle, like ladies first. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, you like what I do? Like, so it makes you feel like, well, I must be doing something right if the people I look up to are liking what I'm doing.
And I learned so much from them. They were both so nice.
Do you feel like what you learned in radio is beneficial to what we're doing right now in the space?
Absolutely.
Because you've never even did a podcast.
Never did a podcast.
Before episode 1, she had never even did a... Have you ever done an interview? Like, other than like a job interview or a business intervw. I'm talking about like somebody interviewing you about your life of being you. Not like we want to... What salary are you asking for? Like, no, not like that. Somebody interviewing Dana about... what made you the person that's into fashion, like what made you the mother you are, where did you grow up at, like you've never done that type of interview.
No.
So for episode 1 of the JANA After Dark podcast, that was the first time that she ever got in front of a camera, got on a microphone
after my BJ VHS.
and just
spoke
freely. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and definitely. I think that's dope that you can even sit up here and talk
20 years later
just about that, about the Beyoncé concert and how you felt this as a mother and this and that. And we talk about so many different things, but I want y'all to understand she had no practice with this. If episode 1 didn't make her feel comfortable, I would have canned this shit. Like I told her, if you don't want to do this, I'm not making you do this. But if you want to do this shit will be amazing. We'll have the most fun that we probably ever had in our life.
Well, you made me very comfortable. And the things that I learned from radio almost 20 years ago, I still take with me to this day, whether it applies to radio. Sometimes I give you the advice that they've given me, and they probably don't even remember some of the things they told me. I've told you with different things you've worked on. You're my filter. And you're like, Ed said that? And I'm like, yes. He's like, all right, well, I'll value that because I know Ed is the GOAT. So, you know, I'll cherish those moments forever. And I think it helps me now because now I've been through so much and I have a voice. I feel like I have a voice that I'm comfortable at this space because you're with me. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It make a lot of sense, of course. It make a lot of sense. I had another topic, but I think I'm gonna save that topic. I don't think I want to talk about that this week. I have something else I want to talk about this week.
Okay.
Like, because we're gonna keep it short this week. We're not going. I feel like last week we like went for a while. I forgot we was talking about the jobs, and I went off on the McRib and all of that. It was a lot. We was talking about a lot. But before we get up out of here, I want to talk about because we've been talking about this a lot lately, but we didn't want to bring it to the show. But it's here now, and we're gonna talk about it. The group chats that you're not in.
Oh my God.
Like, not the group chats that you got with your peoples, right?
That your name is in.
We want to talk about the group chats that they have without you. Like
but they're mentioning your name.
Yes. If the group chat is about you without you. Like, do y'all, because that's a thing. Like sometimes you don't really you think you in all of the cool group chats. You're
not in on all the jokes. You're not in on all the jokes. That's the one. Those are the interesting group chats because they could be made by your coworkers, your family members, your exes.
Do you think you in any? Do you think you're the topic of any group chats of girls that you're in group chats with?
Absolutely.
But do you think it's like a drag session, like tie her to the back of the bumper?
I think it
like
depends
the
on
dog in National Lampoons.
I think it depends on the day. Disclaimer, we're all human. So
I know I done been dragged in group chats before.
But
I done seen my niggas drag me in group chats before.
But it's not always
shout
just
to y'all, but it's
not always
a little
just
crazy.
Your friends. Sometimes it's family members. Sometimes it's coworkers. Sometimes it's ex-friends that you used to be friends with. Sometimes it's exes that you used to be in relationships with.
Yo, I know my exes be talking about me. I know
those group chats are very interesting.
Ragging me. But that's cool too. That's cool.
You know, I mean, we're only human, but those group chats are very, very interesting.
The group chats that you are not in are crazy.
But the thing is, with those group chats, you're always curious to know who's defending you at those times when you're not around. Those are the most interesting things. Who's defending you?
Yeah.
Or who's just going along with it? I think that's the thing with me. It's like, so you agreed to that? You laughed? You sent the emoji?
Oh, yeah, you LOL'd. Yeah. You didn't be like, all right, not chill. Y'all wildin'.
That's
y'all
my
wildin'.
bro. That's my sis.
You double clicked and put ha. Fuck you mean ha. The fuck with you, like, what the ha is?
Yeah, I think that's what ruffles my feathers. Like,
yeah, we're gonna keep this one short. But what we want to say is, we want people to jump in the comments, whether it's the comments on YouTube, whether it's the comments on Instagram. We want y'all to jump in the comments, and we want y'all to tell us things that you may want us to talk about. Like,
absolutely.
What's some topics that you want us to talk about on this show? And we'll shout you out. You know, we'll
Definitely.
give you your credit. You know, we ain't gonna steal your post and post it on our page and don't give you no credit.
That's what a lot of people do.
No, we ain't gonna do that, man. We want y'all to like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you got to get that notification. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the
new episode
notification
come out.
We're gonna keep
weekly
giving y'all content weekly.
Yes.
We're gonna make another post about what day we're going, because we're trying to find a day. Right now we're doing Friday and Saturday, but I'm thinking we might want to do like a Thursday, Friday thing. So we're gonna let y'all know.
We'll keep the viewers posted.
Yeah, my baby be in the comment section, so I'm letting y'all know on YouTube. She'll be like, hey, look what this person said. Blah, blah. So I say, you know what? We got to start interacting with y'all more. And she kind of wants y'all to, she see y'all giving the, hey, y'all should talk about this. Y'all should talk about that. So she
I'm so with it. Like, I'm one of those people. She want to
bring y'all into the show more, and I'm 100% with it.
Like, so. I look at it like we're like a family. Like, we want to do stuff that people want to see. We don't want to just do stuff because we want to do it. But we want to make sure everybody's like comfortable with it and, they like it.
Yeah. Make sure you follow us on all socials.
Yes.
On Instagram, I'm at Jae Millz.
And I'm at Dana.Neon.
Yeah, see, I was gonna see if you was gonna mess up. I was gonna see. You know what I'm saying?
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Hold on, I'm trying to remember the slogan. I love you, we love each other, and you should love each other too.
There you go.
Ooh.
No surprise.
Nah, I don't know if I'm doing surprise this week.
Oh, because you got your Gucci glasses on?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little
Young Barry-ish.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna give him this week. I think I'm gonna chill on the song this week. I think next week, I think I'm gonna give him a soundtrack next week.
I don't know. You looking like Virgo mixtape right now.
Like Young Barry.
Yeah.
I was shaking when I was Young Barry.
There you go. He's always shaking. Oh my God. God. Why did I say that?